Yes, so up next we have a keynote presentation from Mr. Mohammed Zayed, who is the Senior Azure Business Group Lead for the Middle East cluster from Microsoft. The keynote presentation will be about accelerating Kuwait digital transformation with hybrid cloud. Mr. Mohammed Zayed, are you here?
I'm with you, and thank you so much for the intro. And I hope this is going to be an exciting presentation when it comes to basically talking about digital transformation. Yeah. So if you want me to start, I can share my screen. I hope everyone can see it. Yeah, I'm good to
Yes.
go.
Sure, good to go, Mr. Mohammed.
Right. So thank you, everyone. It's been a very long time for me actually to speak on stage. I really wanted to be on stage physically, and I hope you can hear me very well. My name is Mohammed Zayed. I've been in Kuwait for 10 years. What I do for a living, I eat, breathe, drink digital transformation. I'm really happy to see Bashar as well as basically and other members in the last panel, which actually I was following through, and it's a very valuable feedback and points that personally I took forward to discuss in more details in the future. Look, it's the topic of digital transformation is becoming in the heart of everyone. I'm happy about that because I teach digital transformation as well in Master of Business School. So I'm a teacher for digital transformation for the last 5 years. And I'm really happy this is becoming the ABC of how we do the business nowadays and how we are exploring what is going to be next when it comes to, building up on the future and the vision that we have for Kuwait. Now, having said that, I really like as well in the region how digital transformation is accelerating. I think it's basically for the people that speaks Arabic and they have been watching Ramadan TV shows. One of the TV shows was Seen by Ahmed Shaqiri, and this TV show demonstrated basically the digital transformation movement that happened in Saudi Arabia. Actually, they have a website that is publicly available for the National Digital Transformation Unit, where they are summarizing the path to digital transformation by saying that we started with digitization. That's what I call it, the e-government, right? So whenever I hear the e-government, I feel like I'm still in the 2020, early the 20s, the 2000, if I may say. And then we moved into the digitalization, so the process automation, where people, they wanted the correspondence management systems, workflows, et cetera, to happen. And then we moved into the digital transformation piece where, we are not looking just only on the process automation. We're looking into the paperless environment. That is not just only the goal. The goal is definitely to transform the experience, the process, the business model that we have into making sure that we have a new experience. So for example, in the pandemic, I'm really happy that Ministry of Interior, they went and they made the civil ID renewal and the civil and your driving license renewal to happen online, and you can receive them in a kiosk when it comes to the driving license. But when you go to the website, as an example, you still go to PASI, then you go to MWatch. You have 3 different websites. You don't have like one consolidated place. The future from user experience, I have one place, right, to go. That's the transformed experience that is available everywhere. So the same experience I have it on the web is the same experience that I have on the mobile, is the same experience that I have somewhere else. And it's robust, 99.9% up and running all the time. It's available for me 24/7, et cetera, and et cetera. That's the real transformation. And it is intelligent, right? So it can notify me, call me, and remind me that, oh, by the way, you have a vaccine next week. So you make sure that basically your sons will be there, or your son in that Ministry of Education school has received a very low mark. We recommend you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's completely automated. There is no human interaction that happens in between. Now that's the real transformation, and that's the real kind of like part of how we leverage the cloud in so many ways. And I'm really happy that during the pandemic as well, there were so many success stories that we have witnessed in Kuwait. In fact, if I look into Shlonik, so you guys have mentioned Shlonik. If I look into Mosi Shop, basically, and as you mentioned, Bashar, well, when we received all our daughters and sons, and the people that they lived outside abroad, and we had them basically back here, that's as well basically something that we were able to respond right away. But at the same time, if I look into it, right, we all wanted that vision that we have for Kuwait to happen, right? We all wanted that kind of like vision that we have for 2035 to really becomes a real in front of us tangible when it comes to the progress. And we are in the tipping point now in Kuwait with our leaders that we have, that the Prime Minister basically went publicly and said, we are moving into digital transformation. We are moving into the digitization of the government. And I like the interview that happened with Dr. Rana, where she actually publicly spoke about the need for digital transformation to accelerate within Kuwait. And that's going to be witnessed, right, in the KPIs that will be landed across the different governments and entities. That will help us to meet that vision that we have for Kuwait. At the same time, there is always a question, like, is digital transformation across industries is high, low in Kuwait, right, where we stand? And I can tell you, because I'm deeply engaged in different segments, different industries. And by the way, I'm not here just to market the market of Kuwait by saying, oh, we are totally transformed. No, we are not. There are many areas of improvement that we need to take care of. And we as companies, vendors, citizens, residents, we have that responsibility to make Kuwait to go up in the rank and really compete in the top 20 that we have within that kind of like global competitive report that comes from World Economic Forum. We want to be in the top. We want to be recognized very similar to UAE, very similar to Qatar, very similar to New Zealand, Estonia, all these countries that have really advanced when it comes to digital transformation. We have that desire, and I think it's basically the plan now is, and the opportunity is there. Now, if I think about it, like so many industries has been influenced by digital transformation. I love the fact that we have Bobian Bank, that is one of the, I'm not going to say the best, but one of the best basically transform banks that we have in Kuwait. I truly love their digital transformation journey. I truly love what they have done internally, that they changed the organization structure to make sure that they have a team that's managing digital transformation in so much advanced ways. And the ideation that they bring on board and the whole kind of like experience. I'm not marketing Bobian Bank, but I'm keen actually to become their customer. I love what KFH have done. I love what MBK have done, but I still basically, I see that kind of like ideal implementation of digital transformation has really accelerated, and the perception that's happening in the market that this is kind of like a bank that is representing the bank of the future. But at the same time, we wanted health, government, education, retail to really advance in digital transformation. We have that responsibility. We have that kind of like path to go, and we need to see it in the adoption of new technologies that was not there before. Look, I tried Shlonik. This is me in the Shlonik, right? It's trying to use AI in so many different ways, and I can tell you because Shlonik uses Azure, and I'm really happy with the fact that it's basically how AI was and the facial recognition really helped in Shlonik basically. But when I look into Shlonik, I always think is basically, oh my God, the use cases here is so many valuable and so many different entities that we have within Kuwait. I really love as well this report, by the way. I really recommend everyone to look into it every year. I look into it always because that helps me to understand where is the world is going. And Gartner, when they published this report, and this is a very, very valuable report, I really recommend everyone to go and tap into it. It talked about not anymore people are looking from digital transformation, just only automation, right? Or just adoption of different technologies like 5G, IoT, big data, and so on. But really how the automation will help move things in a completely different milestone when it comes to the adoption. And when I think about that, I think about Azure, how Azure helped Kuwait, right? And how we continue to help customers to really advance when it comes to the hybrid cloud story. Whether they are deciding to stay on-prem, but they want to try something with the cloud, or they are trying to try a cloud from Microsoft or multiple clouds, all of that is basically in the heart of thinking of what we do as an Azure. And to be honest with you, the first step that I do, and my work in Microsoft, I lead the Azure business within Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, and Egypt. The first thing that we have done as a team, we start looking at the skilling of our customers, right? How we can make sure that our customers are ready to dream and implement, right? The skilling is very important. So making sure that we skill as much as possible out of the nation that we have in the government and the education and the commercial segment as well. People that are certified to how to can develop, how to try, and they have the basics. And then we can drive as much as possible success stories. And we have so many success stories that are there in Kuwait where companies, they decided to move fully their data center to the cloud and save a lot of money, or companies, they decided, you know what, I can move half. So I stay in hybrid model and we stay connected and I still be supported by Microsoft through all my different applications. And we have done that, right? And that's really the story of the cloud. I actually, before I joined the Azure role in Microsoft, I was in Microsoft, the sales manager for Microsoft 365. And I can tell you, basically, I'm really happy with the progress that we had done in Microsoft 365. In fact, it has been accelerated big time during the pandemic. And I couldn't imagine like what is our life could be without Microsoft Teams, right? That's implemented in the government or implemented in many of the oil and gas companies that went public, and they talked about the ability for us to work remotely because we had that tool that's available. We had other tools that are integrated in the environment, and we just kicked off, and we had our people connected. But at the same time, if I look into it, right, I look into what Azure can play as a role into making sure that hybrid story will become real, right, for all of us. And I look into it basically from the fact that, you know what, there is a lot of innovation from artificial intelligence. There is a lot of innovation that could be as well from machine learning that we have there. But there is that kind of like piece that is basic that we need to avoid in the future, that this is the time for every CIO to consider, I need to go to the public cloud. I need to save, first of all, huge money that I don't need to invest on the kind of like old model of buying servers. I think in the pandemic, it was visible for a lot of IT managers that they couldn't even go to issue a PO for one of the hardware vendors to bring some of the hardware, right? That was a challenge. Do we need to continue like that? No. Do I need to continue with the same hardware that I have that is going to be obsolete after 4 years, and I need to change it, then I need to do another PO, and then basically we stay in the old model? Or I need to be like agile. I need to be with that kind of like SLA of 99.9%, and I need to be, regardless of sometimes people push back by saying, oh, the cloud's not secure, the cloud is the data, and etc. I don't think it's basically that is on top of the mind of the CIOs. CIOs need today to be agile. If there is any other pandemic that is going to happen, God forbidden, we need to be up and running right day one. We're going to avoid all what happened before. We can't just basically stay with the same old environments that we had, and we say, you know what, because of sometimes basically things that are pushed back basically in the country, the policy is not ready. In fact, I have governmental entities that are completely in the cloud. And the good thing about that in Kuwait, it came because people were skilled, were ready, and they wanted to start, and then they wanted to continue. And because of that, they were up and running during the pandemic, nothing happened. And some entities, basically, they faced a lot of issues because they couldn't even go to the data center to fix it because there was a full lockdown and their resources could not be able to reach sometimes to the data center to fix some of the issues. Now, the hybrid cloud will always going to continue to be. I think basically the story is going to continue to be from the way how we manage the hybrid environments. And that's where Azure Arc came into play, where Microsoft released a tool to make sure that you are able to manage your environment on-prem or environment in the cloud. You continue with the same innovation piece. And through the milestones, you migrate your applications, but that can give you a path. And the good thing is basically it does not only manage Azure, so we can manage AWS, we can manage other as well cloud environments to make sure that you have that kind of like full visibility on your cloud and you full monitoring basically across your cloud environments, whether it is on-prem or it is in the cloud. At the same time, one thing that we looked into, right, and I want to summarize with that, if you don't mind, is how we are realizing the value of the cloud and how that cloud really is accelerating our cloud digital transformation. If you think about it today, we are all in need to have that kind of like one application that consolidates most of the service that we have within, let's say, the government as an example. Now, for that application to be robust, scale, and be able to build a platform that is agile, and the maintenance of the coding and the back end of that platform to continue to be agile, we need the cloud. There is no way that we can avoid the cloud and we just say, you know what, I can do it on-prem. I can bring 2,000 kind of like developers that can build for me that platform and make it happen. Or I can bring 4 different vendors that are recognized to be one of the best vendors in the world that they are doing digital transformation. And then we can develop that platform internally. It's not anymore the agile mindset. With DevOps, with many practices that are there, we need to look into and consider the cloud to help us build a platform, then help us build an agile services that will take us to the future. And this is where Azure played a big part. Not only Azure, to be honest with you. So I'm really happy that all the public clouds really plays a vital role into making sure that this is going to be accelerated. But at the same time, if I look into it, and this is where the importance of this, the regions that we have built as Microsoft and the investment that we have done in the back end, basically into making sure that that platform can respond into that need for making sure that the big data, blockchain, the ability for us to have artificial intelligence in the heart of our services, and the ability for us to make sure that we have a robust kind of like service platform that can be attached to a notification system that can respond into the needs that we have in the market, can scale and can shrink the way how we want. And the partnership that we have done locally with Orido as an example, and Zain, to offer our cloud express route, so to make sure that people have a direct connectivity to our data centers, and the latency basically between the connectivity between their data center and our cloud is really reduced. That has opened up an opportunity, a huge opportunity in the market, and the time is now for us to take that opportunity and take it forward. At the same time, I just want to highlight something. That piece of innovation will not happen without skilling people, without making sure that the people inside Kuwait are enabled and empowered. For that reason, we are investing big time in the skilling of our customers, making sure that our customers are skilled in how to develop and build the digital transformation journey, and making sure that we have that journey basically attached with the new innovations that wasn't there before, and making sure that for sure data plays a big role into the way how we secure it, first of all, and make sure the governance around the data is there. But at the same time, we bring new innovations around machine learning, analytics, and visualization. I look into Power BI as an example, or Power Apps, the way how they grew in the different governmental entities and different industries in Kuwait. I have so many use cases that I can talk about during my presentation, but I don't have the time to do that. But there are so many innovations that happen in the market, and that I'm really so proud about, of how many entities they were able in no time to develop processes, make sure that they are available, publish them online, and make sure that the people can connect to these kind of like forms and the automation that happens behind them, and the visualization that we needed. Power BI now is becoming 101 for any business person. In fact, in Kuwait, we have trained more than 2,000 people in Power BI alone in just basically a small period, in just basically the last 4 or 5 months. And we continue to accelerate that big time, because we know that a lot of businesses, they need kind of like a simple tool like Excel to develop visualization for their entities. And we think this is going to be the future of how we are enabling data analytics to be in the heart of every business specialist in the organization. And I want to end up with this, and this is my last slide, if you don't mind. Look, developers, right? I want to say it the same way how one day Steve Ballmer did say it. We can't, basically, we are going back to basics. We are making sure that developers, they have the heart of digital transformation and thinking basically to transform Kuwait. We count on them. For that reason, we acquired GitHub as an example, as Microsoft, and made sure that GitHub provides developers with access to a lot of code samples that can help them really accelerate by connecting with the different communities worldwide, and build that DevOps kind of like practices in the minds of the people. In fact, with Azure and Power Apps and all the different stuff that we are bringing into the market and making sure that they are available in the hands of the customers, we are taking things to the next level. But that's not only it. We can't take them to the next level without a clear direction, a clear path, a clear kind of like CIO endorsement for digital transformation as a concept, as a use cases, and the ability for us that we believe, all of us, right, that Kuwait is on the edge of becoming one of the agile countries in the regions, where I hope in the next 3 years, we will celebrate having Kuwait one of the top 20 in the, actually, I think it's going to reach to the top 10 if we are really focused and basically into making sure that that vision for digital transformation is going to be applied when it comes to the transformation of the market and transformation of the e-services that we have here, and making sure that we can really talk about DT in every venue, and make sure the DT vision is going to be applied through the partnership that we have between the vendors and the definitely clients that we have here within the market. Thank you so much, and I hope I was comprehensive enough in my presentation.
Yes, certainly, Mr. Mohammed Zayed. Thank you so much there. In fact, insightful presentation. Yeah, we do have a few questions which will be put across to you, and yeah, we have about 3 or 4 which has come from the audience. Of course,
Yeah.
considering the time, we are running about 13 minutes late already, so we have Mr. Hassan from VMware who's waiting already. So the questions will be sent across to you so that you could respond to them. Yes, audience, Mrs. Zayed would be responding to you directly. Yeah, we have Microsoft as one of our knowledge partner. We have a virtual space requesting the audience delegates to please take a look. And if you have any questions or anything at all, please drop a line at the virtual space of our knowledge partner, Microsoft. Thank you so much, Zayed. Again, it was indeed a wonderful presentation. So there has been some requests. I hope you don't mind us sharing the presentation with few of the delegates. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
fantastic. Thanks so much.